You may have heard of life coaching as a job. Well, I won't talk about that today, but about love coaching. Can one be a full-time professional love coach? And how does it work? Sandy Kaufmann is here to answer your question. My first question to you is, what took you to this journey?
Actually, I became to work in the field I was struggling the most, which is love. On a personal point of view, I was repeating the same stories or bad end, let's say. Every time the relationship I was in was finishing because the guy was going for another woman. And of course, the first time I was thinking, oh, just one lost, 10 will wait at the door. And but when it starts to repeat the second time, the third time, fourth time, I thought, oh, something is not working in this area. I was basically guessing from where it could come, because in my past, my parents get divorced quite early. I was 3.5 and they fight a lot. So I could have a sensation that it might have a relationship between my past and what I was experimenting in my love life. But even though I was knowing more or less where it could come from, it didn't help me to change. Until I discover the method I am using now, which is a psycho-body approach to avoid repeating the same things in love. And I apply it on me, and I was so amazed to see the 180 degrees change in my personal life, that I just decided to study this method because, for me, it was incredible.
So you were doing some other work before that?
Yes. Actually, I study finance and marketing in Lausanne, in Switzerland. So
Okay.
Nothing to do with. I was quite a good student, and I found pretty quick a job afterwards. So yes, nothing to do with love coaching.
So then you decided to change, and were you still keeping your job in finance / marketing while you were studying, or how did you approach the new change?
Yes, I basically did study the method more for a personal point of view, because I say, okay, this way I will deepen the work on myself. And I did it parallel to my work. So I was working full-time as a product manager. And on the weekends and for my holidays, I was studying. The study I did, it took me 3 years to do it because we had to practice and to also study anatomy, pathology, work on patient, because you need to have a pretty good technique, because we work on the organs and the belly mostly. And I did it for myself. And once I graduate from that, I was not really in a situation where I wanted to become a therapist, because I had a good job and I was also young. I was not even was 28 when I finished. It's only when afterwards I met my husband and I get married. It was only when I had my son that, I don't know, something came from the inside. I wanted to have more purpose or more sense in the work I was doing. And I turned backward into my life and I asked myself, okay, what has passionated me during several years of my life? And the answer was personal development and the relationship between the mind, body, and soul. And I didn't start as a therapist on my own. I first started a blog about personal development and alternative therapy. And thanks to one of the person I interviewed, she was a coach. And she told me, but Sandy, with all the different trainings you have done, why you don't become yourself a therapist or a coach? And actually, I have to say, she planted the seed in my head. And then another event happened that really make me realize, okay, this is what I need to do. And I started the coaching practice.
Wow, congratulations. So, can you actually be a love coach by profession and just live off of it?
Yes, I have to say I have the chance to live from this passion. At the beginning, I start part-time, and since 2020, I am working only in that field, yes.
Fantastic. Yes, so that is very, very inspiring. We actually met because I was putting a post on Facebook looking for a behavioral therapist, and then you answered my post. So, because you talk about psycho-body approach, there must be elements of psychology and elements also of some medical approach. Do you need to actually have a medical background or a psychological background in order to become a coach or therapist?
No, actually, the name coach is not protected, so you don't need any qualification to call you a coach. I have a certification in life coaching, so basically the certification helps you to ask the right questions to your customer so he find himself his solution. And then for the psycho-body approach, this is a regulated training that you can do that is not recognized by the health insurance, but you have to do this 3 years of study. I had to do 2 years of anatomy and pathology and to have 100 hours of practice. So I have to admit, I wouldn't feel confident if I didn't have so much training because you work on the body still.
Yes, exactly. And also people want to trust you, right? And often certificates or like some kind of degree helps or is required. So it's good to know that actually you don't need to have any specific degree to be a coach. So whether you are a love coach or a life coach or a professional coach, you are pretty much on the same level. And then if you want to advance on some aspect of coaching, then you do these more in-depth trainings. Is that right?
Yes, I think you need certification because it's not yet regulated, but people also see the difference by themselves.
Okay. And people can just go online and look for training academies and so forth. And there are lots of offers, or are there any particular ones, for instance, in your profession as a love coach?
On love coaching, there is not one specific I know, but as you ask question and you help people finding their solution, you can just specialize yourself in love coaching. For me, I think the best coaches is when you did yourself the personal transformation, because by doing that, maybe you look at different tools or techniques, for example, in communication, in finding your ideal partner based on value and so on. And these tools that gather for yourself could help also others.
So you were mentioning the power of mental training and the power of the human body, and then you merge these two to help people change for the better, of course. Can you make an example of what kind of mental training and human, and body training you advise or you do with your customers?
So basically, for me, in love, there is no coincidence. which means if you are not happy in love, there is a logic and there is a reason. And often when I say that, most of the people say, but no, Sandy, why you say that? I want a long-term relationship. I want to commit and I want to have a dream love life. Why it is not happening the way I want in my life? And the answer to that is that you have in your brain, you have two brains. You have your rational mind that is telling you what you want. This is also the mind that gives you the desire to have a love relationship, the desire to create a family, and so on. So this is the rational mind. All the things that are conscious are stored there. And then you have your lizard brain, or let's say your survival brain. And this brain is responsible by who you are attracted to. So the butterfly in the belly, or when you have the flashlight in the eyes and the heartbeat increasing when you see somebody, it's not driven by your rational brain, but by your lizard brain.
It's always say in Italian, love has its reasons that reason cannot explain.
Exactly. It's exactly that. And the lizard brain has, so how does the lizard brain choose the partner you are attracted to? It follows actually two principles. So the first principle is diversification. So it will make you feel attracted to somebody who has the most diverse DNA to you. Because, of course, for reproduction, creating family, if you have a diversified DNA, it's better. But at the same time, as it is a process that it's quite risky, you go to somebody you don't know. For women, you can get pregnant and so on. It will follow the principle of similarities, which means it will feel you attracted to models you know. And how does the lizard brain save these kind of models? And it's very interesting because the lizard brain, we name it also the survival brain. It is the brain that has the flight or fight mode that help you to escape when you have stressful situation. And at that moment, when you have a stress in love, let's say, the rational brain is not working anymore, is off, because at that moment, you don't want to analyze the situation for long. You want to react quickly. And this lizard brain will then, in this stressful situation, then decide a way to react to that. So either fight or flight, and you will have emotion. And at the end of that, he will take stock and he will say, okay, in this situation in love, I react this way. And good news, I'm still alive. Which do not mean you are happy, but you are still breathing and there. He will save it in his data bank. And the data bank of the lizard brain is not only in the brain, a part of his programmation is in the organs. And you might feel it yourself if you feel sometimes you are in certain situation and you react in a way, although on the rational point of view, you would like to react much more diplomatically, much more serene towards the situation, but you really feel you are like in an automatic modus and you are driven by some emotions. So these models that the lizard brain is saying are a lot influenced by your past experience, by the model you said from your past experience that actually stressed you.
What changes with your technique? Is it the way that you choose your partner, the way that you react to your partner? Can you explain?
Yes. So the first thing is actually you might feel attracted by other person when you change the models you have registered, the patterns you have registered in love. So this is the first thing. The second is it change the way you react automatically in love, because by unprogramming it into the body, for example, if you have the fear of being abandoned or the fear of being betrayed, like I had, then you don't have this fear anymore, or you do not anticipate betrayal or abandonment. So you go into the relationship with more confidence and less fear. And this is the part of the past. And then the coaching approach is how, when I am not anymore with fear, how can I consciously choose the right partner for me? How can I consciously decide what kind of relationship I really want? How can I communicate mindfully with my partner? How can I be myself and be also in a relationship and not forgetting what matters to me?
How long does it take for this process to go through?
Usually I do a 4-month coaching, because first of all, the first step is for me to take stock and a bit understand why it is not working, because for every person it is very different. So to have more awareness why it didn't work in the past, we will go through the past relationship, we will go through the childhood, we will go through how you became an adult, what was the key events of your life, and how you behave yourself in all kind of relationships, so not only love, to understand, okay, why it's not working. Then we will make a bit the Sherlock Holmes, because you need to deep dive and understand, okay, but where does it come from in the past? What was the stressful moment in your past that generate this blockage in your love life? And then you unprogram it. It's a bit like hypnosis, but on the body level, if you want to resume. And then from that moment, the past is not anymore to be worked on. Then it is really based on how do I act now to find the love of my life? What are the kind of behavior that I can consciously change? And for this, you need to practice and repeat, and you need to fail also, because this way you will not only know the tools in theory, you will integrate them and really transform your life by practicing.
That's very interesting. I'm wondering how you started with your clients, because now you have set up a good theory, you have a technique, you're trained, you're certified. How do people find you, and how did you start consulting the first clients?
Actually, my first client was very funny, because I just set up my website, and on the first page, I write coaching Zurich, and she find me this way. So she Googled coaching Zurich, and she find me. She was from the Italian part of Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
And so she came like this. So it's, but of course, this was the lucky beginner chance, let's say. What helped me is that I committed to write articles about love. And the way I was writing, I was publishing my article wherever it was possible. I had it on my own website. I also published for other blogs. Often people came to me by telling me, "Oh, Sandy, I have a feeling you are in my head." And this is the first way how I get my first client. And of course, when you had the word of mouth, that is also helping. I have very good testimonials from people. And now I am also doing to the next level. I had the chance to have some interviews and to grow this way.
Oh, perfect. So you put a lot of work into the social media and social networking to attract new customers, and then are there any other ways that you have customers?
Yes, I also propose a free workshop on a regular basis that I promoted on a social network. And I think a lot of coaching and or in therapy, you choose the person because you have a good feeling. By doing something for free, people say, okay, it's for free. I don't know this person. I will see how she is. And for me, I love to interact with people. So I ask them to participate. And it's such a nice way to do it because there is a lot of exchange. And by the group dynamic, people realize things and then they are more convinced or less convinced. But I think it's they can choose easily if they want to go further with me and do the transformation work.
So within 4 months, you have confidence that the change will occur and then the people will be happier with their love life.
Yes, I see it on my clients. And for me, I came to this 4 months because I feel confident to have result and to see improvement in their love life. I have already people getting married and or long-term relationship. So yes.
Has the pandemic given you more business?
Yes, because people were not distracted by so many distractions. So on one side, they realized that they didn't invest so much time into something that is important for them. That's the first thing. And so they are ready to do the deeper work and not only try to find a short-term solution. So yes.
Okay. That's so fascinating. I will look more closely into your website and also I will put it online on my podcast episode. And I want to thank you very much for accepting and offering actually to being interviewed. This is definitely a very interesting, different profession that maybe people haven't thought of. So very, very interesting and useful. Thanks so much for your time, Sandy.
Thanks, Laura, for the exchange today.
There can be so many careers awaiting you out there. Many more are still to be created, and you may be the next person to define your own job. How exciting! Please spread the word, share this podcast to many people, and enjoy the next episodes.